absolutely required that the woke mob walks on stage to our theme song, Wake Me Up Inside, the song about being woke. How is it hello everyone, all right, thank you for coming out, thank you for giving up one more time for our openers, they were fucking great. From here on out, it's the woke mob, it's me and Jamie Peck, this is our show. We've got a sketch or two after this, we've got one more great musical guest, and then it's a fucking party. But first, let's get right into it. What is the woke mob? People always ask me, what is this weird show you do? What is it part of the podcast? Is it part of your regular stand-up thing? No. The woke mob is an idea that me and Jamie came up with together as one isolated thing. We were thinking about late night comedy shows, right? Probably not. There's another one though. It's going great.
Nightmare. Getting myself stuck in myself right after taking the stage.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
I'm probably gonna take my shirt off later myself. All right. So the woke mob. We were talking about late night comedy shows and how they belong to the fucking liberals, right?
Look at that shit.
What these motherfuckers are doing.
You thought it was bad when he messed up Trump's hair. Now he's doing that to the killer robot dog that they're gonna put in the subways. The fucking robot cop dog.
So we thought to ourselves, you know, why don't we make a late night comedy type thing for the rest of us? You can do jokes, sketches, live music and stuff like that while it's nighttime and not be a fucking bootlicker about it, right?
One would help.
Look at these motherfuckers. You got Jimmy Fallon interviewing a robot dog. That fucking sucks. Here's another thing.
Does the dog talk?
I think it was like beep boop, murder all humans.
Come on. All of you.
Here's another thing that happened. Here's another example of these motherfuckers and how much boot they lick and how much they suck. This guy James Corden, I don't know if you heard about him. He's the British one that we have for some reason. You ever thought about that? Why is one of our late night guys a British guy? Like we ran out of regular rich American white dudes.
Taking our gerbs.
That's right, they come over here. That's a different show. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but last year, James Corden, the British late night American comedy show host guy, he went to a very fancy restaurant in Manhattan called Balthazar, which is a great restaurant. I've eaten there. He screamed at the waitstaff because they got his weird egg yolk omelet wrong. First off, it was an all yolk omelet. What is that?
He's trying to gain some weight, clearly. I mean, he's to pack on some pounds.
Like he's gonna fight somebody or something? He was mad that they put white in his egg yolk omelet. Really weird. So he screamed at a waiter about it, and then after that, he got banned from Balthazar. So that was pretty cool. The guy who owns the place just fucking said, "Don't ever come back to my restaurant." Very cool, very funny. Apparently he tips like shit. Fuck these people. We should take their jobs.
What's that?
I think it's James Corden. The sound of the British coming. He also, if you don't know James Corden and his career, his body of work, you might have seen him in a movie called Cats.
Too soon. I can't even look at that.
It's on
Did you
Netflix.
know?
I did take mushrooms and go watch Cats, and it was the worst idea ever. With Alex, he didn't stop me. He was like, oh, sounds like fun.
That was also the last movie you were allowed to see before COVID happened.
Yeah, for the longest time, that was the last movie that I saw in the theater.
Very
Humiliating. I couldn't even look my own cats in the eye when I got home from that. I was like, I might have to get rid of you.
He played Bustopher Jones, which is his name's Bustopher Jones, pretty cool. Like something from one of Felicia's fucking songs. Which is a fat cat that wears a top hat, and is kind of evil in the story, too, which works. Incidental to all this, I just want to share this picture with you. That year, 2020, after Cats came out, I was Bustopher Jones for Halloween.
Who wore it
Clearly me. But yeah, so that's who rules our society. Like literal fat cats, really. We're back to 100 years ago. Nothing's changed. It's the 20s again. This is a picture of what he would look like if he was screaming at you about the food he ordered. As Buster Jones. He'd be like, I ordered wet fancy feast. I said I wanted to eat my own vomit. So anyway, that's what the woke mob is. It's a better late night show for the rest of us. It's about destroying capitalism. It's about killing fat cats. It's all the things we know about it, right?
It's normal stuff for normal people and not that fucking freak. Not freaks like that. So we did the first one in New York.
First one in New York. Jamie is visiting here from New York, and I just moved here from New York. So good to be here. I'm enjoying the city a little bit. But we do have to discuss some things.
We should also mention that Jake moved to LA to join a polycule, and I know how that sounds, but he's very happy. I've done a home visit and everything.
Also, half of it didn't show up tonight. It's because of COVID, don't worry.
You still have half, that's a great thing about having a polycule.
Everyone got sick, that's also kind of what happens when you're in the Manson family. Don't worry about it. I think hopefully everyone's going to be all right. But we do have a couple of votes to pick. I'm still a little bit of a New Yorker. I'm still adapting to the ways of Los Angeles. I got into it with somebody the other day about bottled water. I don't believe in this thing. Everyone drinks water from a bottle here. They pay for it.
Why would you do that?
This is my most boomer quality. Is that I'm like, why would I pay for water?
I mean, I feel this similarly. Like, I'm not gonna have to, it's like an extra thing to buy, and you can just put a glass under the fucking faucet. No.
Yeah, right? I think it's weird, but here people, like my girlfriend was sick, and I went to get her some water, and somebody stopped me at a gas station because I was about to buy a bottle of Dasani.
What?
Right, I did not realize that was how people feel about Dasani. I thought they were kind of all the same thing.
Someone's gonna have to explain this to us later.
There's a hierarchy. Like Fiji is one of the better ones, apparently. Give it up for Fiji.
Sure.
I don't believe in this shit. I just drink water out of the tap. Hell yeah! That's right. It's fine. But
But then,
well,
this is where we're going with this?
there's a couple things we need to get to here. I moved to a really bad part of town. It looks like a third world country outside.
Jake lives in the neighborhood from Beau is Afraid. Basically. There's always something on fire. Parker Posey's always trying to fuck him. It's crazy.
It's really bad, and the price is excellent.
Oh my god, also, our cameraman saw a guy get thrown out of a moving car in Jake's neighborhood once. True story. Oh, okay, sorry. Kevin saw a guy, similar story, but yeah.
So, long story short, it smells like piss everywhere. And I have this thing that I've been thinking about that I think might be a little bit New York-centric of me. Maybe this is a little East Coast chauvinistic. I kind of think the piss smells worse here. The piss smells worse here.
And when you said that to me, I was like, what? No. But now, like, I kind of agree with you.
Here's the thing.
New York City #1, baby.
Because the reason the piss smells better in New York City is the tap water.
It's also why the pizza and the bagels are better.
Right. I think actually they might be right about the water here, and that's why the piss everywhere on the street smells worse.
It all comes back to water in Los Angeles.
I've been telling people as a joke that I moved into the Cecil Hotel. Which, if you don't know what the Cecil Hotel is, it's this fucking crazy hotel downtown, like Skid Row or some shit. It's been around for a long time. It's always been bad. The Night Stalker, Richard Ramirez, lived in it in the 70s while he was doing the serial killing. They said he would come home covered in blood and he'd just walk past the doorman and be like, "What's up? Did you see the Lakers tonight?" It's been like that forever, but at one point, about 15 years ago, which is an era we'll get to in a minute, they tried to bougie it up a little bit, and they sold ads that were like, "The Cecil," like, you know, kind of fancy or whatever. So some woman who's a tourist from Europe stayed there, and there's a famous story about this. She disappeared. And for a long time, no one knew where she went, until the water started to taste kind of funny. So they went on the roof and they looked in the water tank, and she was inside of it. And they don't know how she climbed up inside of it, so there's a lot of like ghost stories and conspiracy theories about how did this woman get into the water tank? Was it the mafia? Was it the CIA? Was it ghosts? I don't know. But what I do know is you might actually have a point about the water here.
Maybe best to stick to the bottled water, actually, until we figure out what the fuck is going on.
There's dead people in it. Fiji. So, anyways, other than the water, I don't know. Let's talk about New York City. I threw some graphics up here that I thought represented the various oeuvres of the towns. In New York, we got Eric Adams.
Doing the heart hand thing with the R2D2 cop that doesn't even have hands.
I didn't even notice that. He's so smart. So we got a RoboCop there with the Ninja Turtles.
We got Bagel Boss.
The Bagel Boss isn't actually, I guess, from New York City. Close enough.
His ancestors are.
These are vibes we're getting at here, you know? Animaniacs, they're from LA.
We're gonna sexualize them in a minute, don't worry.
Pretty cool. Always love the Animaniacs. So that's the one thing we got going for us here. That's Mother God. She's not from here either.
She's got the vibe.
She feels like she would be, doesn't she? She might be here tonight. Is there a blue person in the audience?
She's everywhere. She's God.
That's true. There's a lot of crystals and stuff like that going on here. That's something I'm finding myself having to adapt to about Los Angeles. Okay? This is just a picture of what it looks like outside.
Yep. You got that antioxidant crime family that's doing Chinatown shit with the water. You guys know what I'm talking about? The fucking palm people, palm wonderful. Yeah.
The thing that looks like a buzz ball?
Yeah. They're like stealing all the water because they're the richest family in the state and they're allowed to.
They're using it to make non-alcoholic buzz balls?
Even the water crimes are for like health food and shit. It's crazy.
Oh, you guys need to move out east a little bit. Put some edge on you.
It's a crazy story. Look it up.
Let's stop for a second and talk about the internet. So when I was Googling pictures of Ninja Turtles and things like that to make this collage, I thought about things a little bit. I listened to some fallacious music and thought about the website DeviantArt for a moment and was like, you know what? I should see what they're doing with the Ninja Turtles on DeviantArt. And I have nothing good to report. Let's get into it. Comic Sans. Come on, you know you want it. This is clearly Raphael as he's wearing a red thong. And also his red eye mask is hung over the bed, which is, that is...
Why would you take that off?
That's the difference of them being clothed and nude, I guess. Because they're already not wearing clothes. He actually kind of put the thong on over what he usually looks like.
I'm not familiar enough with Ninja Turtles to know what they usually wear on the bottom.
Nothing. They just sort of hang, like, no, they're turtles. Like, he gives a cloaca. I don't know. And he's got his side out, so that's also how we know it's Raphael. Prompt to the artist for detail. Another Raphael. This is him on a motorcycle.
That's hot.
Very seductive. Very cool. And this one really stuck with me. It's been kind of haunting me because he's kind of nice with it. Donatello. Look how fucking boring he looks.
He wants it.
So this is my argument for New York City, okay? We have this there. And then I did the same thing in the other direction with your cartoon of representation, Animaniacs. This is a person that lives in Los Angeles. She looks like a fucking cholo. She looks like the girlfriend of the guy from Sublime that he sings about. You know what I mean?
I like it that you can see her nipples and her areolas and everything, like perfectly outlined.
It's like too hard, too. It's not subtle at all. But those are the vibes, I think. You know?
Yeah.
New York, full of trash, full of critters. LA, this.
Big TV. Dot. Animaniacs. Yeah.
How's LA been to you, Jamie?
Well, it's been a real mixed bag, I gotta say. For a little while I was on Tinder looking for a vacation boyfriend. It didn't really pan out, but it was kind of funny, so that's good at least. And sidebar, okay. You guys know who Jordan Peterson is? If you know who we are, you probably know who he is, right? Yeah, so.
Let's bring him out!
He's like a Canadian psychiatrist.
He also starts rapping.
He talks like Kermit the Frog on Suicide Tuesday. Hierarchy. But he mixes this like generic self-help stuff with like weird fascist mysticism, and these like lonely little boys with no dads like eat it up. Like they don't know, and they spend so much time and energy, reading his weird books about how he fucked his grandma once in a dream. That's really in there. You can look that up. And so much money on the pickup artist classes, and they could literally just learn to play the guitar. Don't listen to the Barbie movie. Girls like it.
Same amount of time spent on YouTube, you could have learned to play guitar.
You could have learned so many times over by now. You don't even have to clean your room. Just trust me, we're gonna talk about punk houses later. I've been in many of those. Those guys fuck. Like they don't even have bed frames. It's crazy.
So those are the guys you're meeting on like Tinder?
So anyway, it's been a mixed bag. I matched with an actor on Raya who never wrote me back after we talked initially, which means it's okay to make fun of him, right?
Absolutely. Into a microphone in front of, this is a pretty full room.
Yeah, hell yeah. He was on the OC like 15 years ago or whatever, and every single picture he posts of himself on his Instagram it's of himself, every wall to wall, the Instagram. But he'll find a way to make his selfies like topical for whatever day it is. Sometimes what's going on in the world, yada yada. So his post from 9/11 is very funny. It's just a photo shoot that he did in front of the Twin Towers in like the year 2000. And he's just like giving Blue Steel in front of the Twin Towers. Like, never forget these cheekbones, babe. He literally hashtagged it, never forget.
Only in LA!
Never forget me. And then I was on the OC. I also met this like hot rock and roll guy who he left me on red, which is really sad. He wrote he's 6'2" in English. He wrote that in his profile, and it worked. It worked on me. I'm sorry. I hard wants what it wants. So yeah, he's like a hot rock and roll guy. He lives in West Hollywood, which everyone tells me is cheesy, right? Like that's not a place where cool people live. I didn't know. He like hangs out on the Sunset Strip.
Anyone here from West Hollywood? Someone raised their hand.
All right, I'm figuring it out. And I was really sad. I was complaining, I was complaining to my friend about how sad I was that this guy left me on red. And after giving me so many compliments, like saying like, you're fucking gorgeous in it. And he was like, Jamie, don't worry. Like, he's literally a character from a Morrissey song. He probably had to go back to Blackpool and work in his family's eel pie shop. And I was like, oh, of course, that's Living. Nathaniel from Blackpool, he moved to Los Angeles. He wanted to play rock and roll. It's a Morrissey song.
It writes itself.
Right? So then, he probably wants to text me, but he just, his phone doesn't work back in Blackpool. It's very damp there. And, he's probably picturing a very dank, moist room, right? He's all hunched over. His dad's yelling at him. He's whining, but Paul, I want to play rock and roll. He was like, you shut up, son, and get back in the killing floor and plump them heels over the head. The customers is hungry. So it's fine, he didn't text me back, because I would make a terrible eel wife.
Yeah, you dodged the bullet. You almost dated Harry Potter.
But the sad part is I totally would go. I would go with him. No question.
Absolutely date a British eel farmer.
Oh, maybe someday. Anyway.
You want to get into it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's talk about
It's time.
topic at hand. Indie sleaze. What is it? You might... Oh, fuck, that song isn't playing. Well, we'll edit it in post. That Crimewave song that we named our show after is supposed to be playing by Crystal Castle. Which I found out recently is not actually a Crystal Castle song. It's a cover of a health song.
That's not the only upsetting thing we found out about Crystal Castles this week.
Oh, right.
Did you know that the girl from Crystal Castles was literally being human trafficked by the guy from Crystal Castles?
Yes.
It's so fucked up. Look it up, it's horrible.
I didn't know that shit.
It was so bad. You guys, okay, all you fucking Zoomers who have, nostalgia for a thing you weren't there for, you don't understand. You don't know. You weren't there. We were there, man. The things we saw were,
Yeah, it was a really bad era, but what's fucked up is that's a really good song.
Well,
Is that why it's so good?
I hope not.
Maybe it's good in spite of the fact that all of the bands from 2005 were human trafficking each other, Maybe it could have been better. I don't know.
I think so.
What I do know is that this is an era of music that is named in retrospect, kind of how World War I wasn't called World War I while it was happening. Right? People mixing indie music and dance music in Brooklyn wasn't called indie sleaze until after the fact. Right? At the time, it was just you went over to James Murphy's apartment and he had too much ball. This is a picture of the guy from LCD Sound System, James Murphy, who is he looks like he would be selling cell phones out of a kiosk at the mall guy.
He was such a nerd.
He doesn't look like a musician. And it's a picture of him passed out on the floor of a hotel room that I found by Googling drunk LCD Sound System guy. And I thought, wow, I got a damning photo of this guy, how embarrassing, right? It's from an article that's by James Murphy. He wants you to think that he looks like this.
No. Oh, that's so lame.
That's the indie oeuvre.
Trying so hard. But yeah, you made some bangers. I like the part of Meet Me in the Bathroom where he does ecstasy for the first time. He clears it with his therapist first. He does ecstasy for the first time and discovers he likes dancing.
Yeah, it's weird. But he looks like that guy. He's just dancing fucking Molly style.
It's so cute. I mean, look, you should be happy that white people finally figured out a music that they would enjoy dancing to, because usually how do they express themselves? How do we express ourselves to music?
Fighting to music.
Just hitting each other. That's the only way we know how to do it. So,
It was a huge deal that he overcame that, because before that it was hundreds of bands in a row where you just sort of shove each other around in a circle and fun.
Yeah, that is also fun, but it's good to have options.
Yeah. So we're throwing a party tonight that is sort of reminiscent of that era.
We're gonna enjoy the fun parts and maybe leave the bad rapey parts behind.
There are those sunglasses with the weird blinds in them that Kanye used to wear. Those are around somewhere tonight. We've got some fake mustaches. This is the worst Renaissance festival of that time. It's like, what if you had a time machine and you only went back to a part that you lived through recently? lot of fun.
Good times. What are some other terrible things we lived through in the indie sleaze era? I signed Vice's...
Iraq War.
I was gonna say that I got sexually harassed to Electroclash, but Iraq War, probably worse.
Neck and neck.
I signed Vice's non-traditional workplace agreement where I agreed not to be offended by anything. That's pretty funny that they had that. Anyone else sign that? Yeah?
Well, actually, it's kind of funny that the Iraq War was happening in the background of all this like tweed Decemberists bullshit. You know, guys are walking around wearing like brown three-piece suits, running together through a field of flowers. Someone's head is being exploded in Fallujah. That was 2006, man.
It was a weird time. You saw Gavin McInnes do stand-up comedy, right?
Way too many times.
Wow.
A lot. He was bad at it. That's why he's a Nazi now.
And Hitler was an unsuccessful artist.
For real. It felt like Hitler was painting up there when he tried to do crowd work about having threesomes. That's mostly what Gavin did.
Well, maybe you should have laughed at his jokes.
Oh
We'd be living in a whole different timeline.
no! You almost went on a date with
I almost fucked a celebrity.
Can you tell that story?
There was no date about, oh my god, okay, well. I was at a Vice party one time during South by Southwest, and this guy was like hitting on me super hard, who was like, I guess kind of famous, I don't know, I had a big crush on him in high school when he was on television, and
when she says the name of this person, if you're a certain age, you're going to lose your fucking mind.
So anyway, I'm like at the Vice party, I'm like, oh my god, this is great. Everything's great in my life. And then he fucking left because I guess he wasn't famous enough anymore to get his friends into, you know, the fucking Vice parties, they always tried to be like the toughest door and like blah, blah, blah. And like, he thought that I was just gonna leave and go hang out with him where he was. But I was like, I think I might be working right now. Like, my boss is here, and the client is here that I'm doing like branding shit for, and there's amount of cocaine here, and I think I have to do it or I might be in trouble. So,
What Laser was like.
you know, also Les Amis Bomb was playing, and I really like that band, and so anyway, I didn't go, and I totally would have fucked him, definitely, but then I couldn't do it the next day either. He was like, oh, come to my hotel, I have a room at the Driscoll, you know what I mean, so and like make out or whatever, and I was like, oh my god, stop it, I have to go to Mexico with my friend Debbie, shout out to Debbie, she's here right now, and we had to go to a music festival in Mexico, and that's obviously more important than fucking some celebrity you watch on television in high school, but sometimes I still wonder if my life would be different had I fucked Gideon Yago.
Gideon Yago. MTV VJ?
He was in the news, thanks.
Take back real far.
He was a serious journalist.
You're watching MTV at 4 in the morning, right? They have a guy doing the news for some reason. It's either Kurt Loder or Gideon Yago. That's who she always
Like
fucks.
interviewing people in Iraq, like, do you like Modest Mouse?
I fucking looked this up a while back, just out of curiosity. I remember who Gideon Yago was, and I Googled him, and I was like, I wonder what he's up to now. And I found a video on YouTube of him in the Middle East, in a war zone, doing music journalism. So he's just talking like a dying family, and he goes like, do you guys like Beck?
That's my man.
And she almost did it with him, man.
I'm gonna sue Vice for cock blocking.
Let's talk about clothes a little bit.
Let's talk about the next slide, which is the gross dude, right?
Oh shit, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Let's do this first.
Yeah.
So, gross dudes of the era, there are quite a bit. They're kind of what the sleaze part is a moniker for.
The women had to be like really hot and skinny and young and beautiful at all times. That's why me and all the women my age are always on a diet to this day, right? Because all the headlines were like, ooh, did Agnes Dime gain 5 pounds? Like, why is Hillary Duff such a fat bitch, right?
Everyone in the indie sleaze era looked like Karen O, you know, they're covered in like neon spandex and shit. Everything was fucking cool and glittery. All the men looked like this. That's Terry Richardson.
I'm allowed to make fun of him.
He's a famous fashion photographer of the era. He looks like a really dehydrated Hunter Thompson.
I can't even look at that.
Look how unhappy that woman looks.
Kate Moss. Kate Moss looks like she's smelling a fart.
And he's just like so happy. He's so pleased. He's glaring at us through his fucking tinted aviator sunglasses.
Well, I had the last laugh on that.
What do you mean?
He's canceled. I canceled him.
She literally canceled that guy. Look at that.
Woke mob strikes again.
He was a sleazy photographer.
Not anymore.
Need we say more, right?
Yep. And you know, the sleaze was not only in hipster culture. In fact, probably hipster culture was a reflection of raunch culture in general, right? Remember Girls Gone Wild? Like the party photographers were like the hipster version of that. I was like, oh, finally, a kind for me. But Girls Gone Wild is always funny because like, what it means to go wild is literally just to take off your shirt.
That was the whole thing.
It's like, wild, not wild. Wild, not wild, you know?
The Ninja Turtles from earlier.
Yeah, you would think that they would be like, I don't know, like eating glass or doing some Gigi Allen shit or something. No, just showing their tits. Like, what? Like, I do that every day just because.
Yeah, in retrospect, those girls were going a little bit wacky.
Next time someone asks me to go wild, I'm just gonna like take a shit on stage and be like, yeah, like that, you like that?
With the calypso music still playing and shit?
Yeah, totally.
Doug Stanhope was walking around for some reason. Back of the room, Joe.
What's it gonna be like when millennials get old? Is that where we're going next?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like we've been the punching bag editorialized for our entire generation's life. Like, there's still going to be editorials about us.
Are millennials killing the nursing home industry by dying in ditches? How dare they? I'm sorry.
Let's talk about pants. I want to get to pants.
Oh, big time. Oh, well, let's talk about the Zoomers.
Right.
Let's talk about the Zoomers and their pants. So first of all, the Zoomers.
Right.
I hooked up with a Zoomer recently.
Did you really?
Yeah, I'm really excited I'm finally old enough to be a cougar. And one funny generational difference was that he's never done coke, he's only done ketamine. And at first I was like, what?
You can do both.
I was like, that's fucking weird, right? But then I thought about it a little and I was like, you know, it kind of makes sense, right? Because you should only do coke for like 5, 10, 15 years maximum of your life, otherwise it's really bad for you, right? So like, if you're gonna pick a stretch of time to do it, it should be when you actually need it, right? Which is not your 20s.
Which is 30 minutes from now, actually. It's out there.
So, you know, it's like, we gotta speed it up a little bit, and then maybe they take ketamine if their legs don't work so well, and that's how I can keep up with all my boyfriends.
That's flawless math, I've never heard it. We gotta get the Zoomers on uppers, we gotta get us on downers, and we'll meet in the middle. This is also kind of a generational show, because we were there, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we were in part of indie sleaze, and there are a lot of people walking around these days who fucking weren't. So, we're here to tell you like it is, tell you what happened like it was, and also to do generational warfare about all the things that Zoomers are up to. I'm embracing being old. I don't give a fuck. I part my hair on the side a lot of the time. I don't care if you think it's weird. I love skinny jeans.
Come and take them.
This is as baggy as mine get, and this is for you. This is so I can
try and relate to the younger people in the audience.
But I don't understand, you know, how nowadays it's cool, no judgment. I understand that I'm wrong, but You know, back in my days, everyone wore skinny-ass jeans. You could kind of see your genitals through them, and it was hot. They were stretchy, they were demi. Nowadays, every woman walking around under the age of 25 looks like she's trying to join Soldier First Class. Fight for the Shinra Corporation. Or that she's a genie that someone freed and now has legs again. What the fuck is going on? From the knee down.
I wish for ketamine. Give me all your ketamine.
I do wish that. You have a story about it.
Oh yeah, so, okay. I did not bring enough warm clothing with me to Los Angeles because I'm an idiot and I thought it would be warmer here and it was very cold when I got here in early January. So I'm a creature of habit, all right? And I thought maybe it would also be funny to like see what it looks like. So I went to Los Angeles Apparel, which is, I know, cancel me, very bad. This is Doc Charney's new company that he started after he got kicked out of American Apparel. I mean, it's very funny, right? Because he was like, we don't use sweatshops, but I'm going to sexually harass every single woman who works for me. So, you know, pick your poison. But yeah, but I was like, ugh, okay. I need a well-made sweatshop-free hoodie. I guess I'll go there. It's just like my programming as an elder millennial. So I went there, and you know, they were like trying to sell me some pants, and I was like, do you have any skinny jeans? And the Zoomer working there was like, what? No. Oh, okay, never mind. And then like, I went in to try some stuff on and they sent an older lady over to help me. Who was like, you know, about 40, like about my age. And she's like, hey, I have some pants I think you're gonna like.
They had to get an older person from the back.
Who could handle the kind of jeans that like suck onto your calves, I guess. And at first I was like, ugh, what? You think just because I'm an elder millennial that I'm gonna, yeah, of course I bought them. I put them on and I bought them. The disco pants. It's like diversity, equity, and inclusion for older millennials, you know? It's like, I can imagine a meeting, they're like, we want them to feel comfortable in our stores, so they need to see people who look like them. You know, like old. So, there we go, it worked.
You know what? As long as it's keeping 37-year-olds in business, having jobs at LA Apparel, I guess I'm alright with it.
Yeah, sure.
Someday that could be us. Well, let's talk about this Doc Charney guy.
Oh, yeah.
This is one of the most famously canceled men of the indie sleaze era. Also a creepy photographer. That was kind of a thing back then, right? He said something incredible in an interview a while back. American Apparel founder Doc Charney said, sleeping with the people you work with is unavoidable. That's how he explained everything he did. What an incredible rationale. I personally find this very funny as a person who's mostly worked in pizza restaurants. Because this is what the people I work with look like. One of those is a different species than the other one.
Don't act like you didn't fuck both of those guys, come on. Look, it says right at the bottom, enjoy your delicious moments. Did you not? Was it not unavoidable?
Are you not entertained? Fair. But yeah, like most workplaces are just those two dudes. So does Doc Charney's logic hold up? Eventually you're gonna fuck the person that you're standing next to 8 hours a day? I'm a fucking artist. I work alone a lot of the times, and yeah, that's kind of a point.
He was also the boss. He left that part out. To work with, you know, are like the boss of the boss of the boss of the boss of. Like, it's a little different. There's a lot of good quotes in that article, though. Like, this person, the journalist is sort of trying to square the circle, right, between his, between his different vibes that he does, you know. They say, many people see an inherent contradiction between Charney's indefatigable championing of workers' rights and his equally energetic pursuit of his female employees. But for Charney, the through line is obvious. He is a essentially a libertarian who thinks there should be no boundaries, national, professional, or sexual. So that's right, Dog Charney is just like an undocumented worker.
That makes sense to me, I guess.
There's another good one. It's like they asked him, could he really not have changed his behavior to stay in control of his own company? And Dog said, never, out of the question. It wouldn't be good for society.
Indestructible logic. You can't argue with them. What a fucking lunatic.
And this is from like 2017. Like, this is pretty recent.
That was like,
Or not, I guess. I don't know.
how long ago?
What is
Why was
time?
he still being interviewed back then?
Because of Los Angeles Apparel.
Insane. Well,
Canceling myself.
anyways, with that done, I think we should move into our final act here. We're
That's
going to
right.
go on stage and talk to him a little bit, and then he's going to play some tunes for you. I have no idea how else to introduce this guy other than what everyone calls him. Ladies and gentlemen, the guy from the Eve 6.
Should we stand in the chair? Excellent.
Is he taking a piss?
Still bangs.
Did he leave?
That would be very funny.
There he is.
I wanted to listen to his song because he's not sick of that song yet, I'm sure.
Oh, welcome, Max.
Welcome to the program.
Hello, everybody.
Make some noise, everyone.
So, what'd you think of that sketch? You ever live in a punk house?
Sorry, say that again. The sound in this room is reverberating, and it's
Oh, no.
it's hard for me to get to my ears. So Lauren.
The sketch that we just played was about living in a punk house. And I said, have you ever lived in a punk house?
No, never lived in a punk house. Although I guess living in a van on tour with 3 to 5 other guys maybe kind of resembles it in some ways.
I don't know. I think we need to ask the expert.
Yeah, the toilet doesn't work. It's just like living in my apartment. You can't take a shit in a tour bus, you know that? If you do, everyone gets really mad at you. Yeah.
It's a real faux pas.
Max, since we're discussing the indie sleaze era tonight, I wanted to ask you if you have any stories about bands from that era. You ever have any run-ins with the Strokes or the...
Yeah, the late 90s radio rock world and the indie sleaze worlds rarely collided, but we did have a couple scenes. One was with the Strokes actually, and it was I almost did drugs with the guy from the Strokes, but then the cops came into the bar and someone poked their head into the bathroom real quick and said, "Pigs," and then he put everything away really quickly and we walked out nonchalantly. So my most notable indie sleaze moment would be almost having done drugs with the guy from the Strokes.
Wait. The guy from the Strokes asked you to meet him in the bathroom?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
I think he said, "Do you want to go up?" I remember that being sort of
It's important
that
to
was
specify.
the New York line at the time, at least, was, "Do you want to go up?" And I said, "Sure." And then nothing happened.
I'm stepping away because I think our mics might be
Oh no.
interfering with each other.
Oh jeez.
Just gonna do one of these.
Yeah. We need to bring that back, honestly, because I never want to do what I think is coke again and wind up in a horrible cakehole.
Wait, what happened? We got tangled up?
What happened?
We're getting a little feedback, but I think we're fixing
I
it.
see.
It is hard to hear each other, P.S.
Yeah, it's hard.
Alright, well, my favorite thing to do with Max is just think of a random band and ask him about it. Because if you get about 3 in, he's usually got a story. So I think we should turn this to the audience Yell out a fucking band, anyone.
Sum 41. I heard Sum 41. Yeah, I have a Sum 41 story. We did a couple tours with those guys. One was in Canada, where they're from. A lot of fun. Great guys. After that tour, sometime after that tour, we ended up on a radio festival with them and the band SR71. I don't know if you guys remember them.
I remember them.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, why do you, wait, what was this song called?
Why do you always kick me
Yeah.
when I'm
Yeah.
high?
Yeah.
You throw like a bunch of extra vowels into a line. That's that era.
Sum 41 didn't like SR71.
That's so fucking funny. They're the same band.
I think maybe they thought that SR71, they were trying to cop their name with it. I don't know. But yeah, they hated SR71, and at this radio festival, they came up to us. This was late at night, like probably the buses were getting ready to roll and stuff, and they came up to me like super pumped, and were like, "We just slashed every single bus tire on SR71's bus, dude."
See?
Yeah. And I was like, wow. Right on, I don't have a, I was friends with some 41 guys, didn't really know the SR71 guys, so, but rock and roll.
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
What did you say?
I said rock and roll.
Yeah, so I said,
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
I guess that's not the correct answer to rock and roll. Alternative rock.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's do one more and then let's fucking get to it.
You have a lot to pick from.
So many Third Eye Blind stories, I don't even know where to start. We did 2 tours with them. We were out with them for like half a year, and that guy, as many of you probably know, is out of his tree. God. Yeah. I mean, I guess the one that I did the tweet about that that people got a kick out of, I guess understandably, was the time he told me that he fucked my girlfriend. And the way that I forged the tweet was a little bit disingenuous, because he did tell me he fucked my girlfriend. He did not tell me he fucked my girlfriend when she was my girlfriend, because she wasn't. So this was earlier than that. God, this is so stupid. Yeah, but the guy from he's like, "You're dating," and said her name, right? And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, in his inimitable, authoritative lisp, he goes, "You know I fucked her, right?" And I was like, "Whoa!" Yeah.
All right.
Third Eye Blind story. Yeah.
All right, Max. Thank you for letting us ask you about bands and shit.
It's my pleasure, Jake. Happy birthday. Welcome to Los Angeles.
Thank you so
I
much.
love you so much.
I love you too, buddy. The guy from U6, everyone. Stick around, and after that, it's a party.